Right, hello, this is Scott from the Retro Gamer Forum, and I'm Sheffield, and just going to do a quick video after a long absence of not being on YouTube and posting. I'm trying to get used to looking at the camera above the screen on my iMac rather than down on the floor, which I tend to do a lot. So on the right-hand side, there's Ewan, my son, who's holding aloft the iPad for some reason. I hope he doesn't drop it. Just want to say what I've been up to, the games collection, and anything else that sort of pops into my head. First of all, I'm still lurking on YouTube. I still follow people's channels. If anyone's got any recommendations for things out to look at, I'm happy to do so, because at this point I'm sort of back into playing games. I had quite an absence where I wasn't that interested, where the games room was going unused and I wasn't having much fun with games. And I think that was nothing to do with what was coming out or what I had. I just think you get those phases, I think, don't you, where you just don't really want to pay anything and you want to do other things. So there's some holidays right now, so I'm moving from one school to another, which represents its own sort of challenge. So I had to do a lot of packing up and moving and planning. So I'm hoping to sort of get that all done and then spend a good few weeks just sort of taking it easy and playing games, going out and about, playing with the kids, going out, whatever I'm interested in, seeing friends and so forth. So just before I continue, went to Games Britannia, which is an event which is run by the Replay team, or partly run, should I say, not totally run, which took place at Magna, and I know a few people in Sheffield went. Not that I bumped into many. It was an event mainly for schools, but it did have a lot of systems there and was worth going, but if I'm honest, didn't have the sort of retro community feel that some of the other events had done. So not a criticism, or not a massive criticism, but I think I'm hoping that Play in Manchester in October has a bit more of a feel for that, and it's up to all the people that do attend to make sure it is a more, I think, communal feel, and that we have maybe a bit more fun in terms of the evening nights out, that kind of thing. But anyone that went, you're welcome to disagree if you want. So the systems I've collected, and there's a video following this of the games room, which I'm just kind of going around, hasn't increased massively. I've tended to just pick up a few games, either because they're incredibly cheap or because I wanted them. There's still Playtime in Sheffield. If you haven't been to Playtime in Sheffield, I really recommend it. It's one of the sort of the last stores that I know of that is selling a good selection of retro games, and it's important to get in there early before I snap them up. No, there's your SNES, Mega Drive, Saturn, lots of Dreamcast stuff, not at rip-off prices. So if you are in the vicinity, it's well worth going. That's right in the heart of Sheffield. You can't miss it. So from my point of view, just a quick random look at the sort of games I'm picking up for each system. So just because I'm trying to pick all the cheap Jaguar games that are available, this is Flip Out, which is just a puzzle game on the Jaguar, reasonably well boxed. A lot of the games don't have inlay cases, I've found, on these. I don't know why, a bit like SNES, whether these go, but have very nice boxes, but sometimes no inlays. Secondly, I've actually bought a second game for the Virtual Boy. This is the Japanese version of Tetris, which I got for about £8 delivered from eBay. And, well, it's sort of 3D Tetris. It's an okay game, nothing amazing, but it does play. You can actually play it. I think a lot of all 14 or 21 or 22 games, depending on different regions, games are available, actually playable. They're just not very virtual. They're not very 3D. So most of the games you can play. I think Waterworld's probably the worst I've heard, but most of them have some playability in it. And at the moment, just whenever I can, picking up the Disney games for the SNES and N64, because they tend to be high quality, Lion King and Castle Illusion, other loads. So those kind of games, just trying to get Aladdin. So just trying to pick up those. So if I can get them in a nice box, particularly if they're reasonably cheap and nicely boxed, I'll buy as many of those as I can get my hands on. So that's Pinocchio. I'm not sure it's a great one. It's probably similar in style to the others. So give that a whirl. And it's a game I can play with the kids, which is important, particularly over the summer holidays. You can take your kids out. We can go to the cinema. We can go to the parks. We can go various places like that. But you can't do stuff that costs every single day. You can't be forking out. It is expensive. So some things, you try and do which are sort of everything from kicking a football in the back garden and say going to my games or anything, because kids need entertaining constantly, and you've got to be sort of reasonably creative on how to get them, keep them interested. Films, seen all the three major films in terms of superhero. So the Avengers, the new Spider-Man, and Dark Knight Rises. Out of the three, I thought the Avengers was the most fun. It's nice to see a superhero film which actually got colour in it, and it's not just all dark. And it was a lot of fun with that. I still thought the Hulk was a brilliant character in that. The new Spider-Man, I thought that Garfield guy, the actor, was very good, but I thought the baddie wasn't so much. But it was an okay film. Whether it needed to be remade, which essentially it almost was, just about 10 years after, I'm not so sure about that. And then saw The Dark Knight Rises, which is, I saw that in the IMAX in Sheffield Cineworld, and that's a film that's almost universally praised. I wouldn't say it was amazing all the way through. I think it's got some issues with it, but in terms of pacing, but you really can't fault the sort of the efforts and ambitions of the film that they made. They had a really good go, and you cannot hear Bane half the time. You can't hear his voice. And I was in an IMAX right at the centre with speakers that would, could take your head clean off. Maybe that was a problem, I don't know, but 50% of the time I had no idea what he was talking about, and as far as I'm aware, my hearing's okay. My wife said exactly the same thing. She couldn't hear him, so I don't know if you've seen the film. You've got any thoughts yourself? Pass them on. So yeah, there's a couple of videos after this. I need to get myself a decent camera. This one here is just like the photo booth camera on the IMAX, so it's reasonable quality. The camera I'm using at the moment is just a little camera. It's not good enough. The quality isn't good enough, so I need to get a better camera. I've got decent internet now, so the upload issues are no longer an issue. So if you haven't seen me on for a while, I've just been busy and want to post a few videos, just getting out and about in Sheffield, maybe try and ask to do one in playtime so I can show you what it's about rather than just prattling on. Try to do a couple of car boot visits, and maybe I one or two of my sort of community friends around, and sort of having a few competitions on some of the games. So if you haven't subscribed and you've accidentally stumbled on this channel thinking, who am I? Have a look through the videos I've posted in the past. I hope to sort of try and make a bit better quality videos. I think some of them aren't as good as they could be, probably including this one. But if you have watched and stuck through 7 minutes and 55 seconds of me prattling on, then thank you very much. And any recommendations for me to visit site, post a link and I'll give them a watch and give you some feedback. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.